time once again to slip into your camo, grab your bow, and join us out in the field for another episode of the Up North Journal, presented by PSE Archery. The Up North Journal crew is knocked and ready to rock for another exciting adventure. So let's step outside and hit the trail.
This episode of the Up North Journal podcast is brought to you by PSE Archery,
ScentLock Technologies,
Scent Blocker,
Rambo Bikes,
Hunter's Blend Coffee,
Limwalker Game Calls,
Stanislawski Releases,
Copper John Sights,
Easy Cut Outdoor Products,
Fourth Arrow Camera Arms,
Wind Sense Hunting Sense,
X-Stand Tree Stands,
Spot Shooters,
Gut Check Indicators,
and PackerMaxx Cult Packers. And don't forget you can catch us in syndication at 2 p.m. Eastern Time on goodtalkradio.com. Welcome back to another episode of the Up North Journal. Host Mike Adams sitting in a cabin tonight on Memorial Day weekend, Sunday night, with Dan DeFall, who just hit the brakes on the car
literally
and stopped over. I mean, you went home, unloaded, and came over here.
Literally got home at 6 o'clock.
Back from the UP.
Back from the UP.
So, how'd it go? I mean, how was the trip?
It's always a sad adventure when I have to come back south of that bridge.
Isn't it, though? Isn't that kind of...
It's deflating.
Yeah.
But you know what? It was just... it's Memorial Weekend.
Yep.
So it's kind of the weekend to go up, open the cabin, pray that you see the roof as you come down the trail.
Well, you did. Actually, you sent me a picture here, so let's throw that up there.
Yeah.
I see the roof. There's a roof on the cabin.
So my cousin Dennis also went up too, but he was leaving the same day
that you got there.
Right.
Okay.
So as I pull down the trail, we've got a gate.
Mm-hmm.
First thing I see, the gate's open.
He left it open for you.
I'm like, what's going on?
Oh, you didn't know he was there?
I didn't know.
Okay.
I thought he was going to be up later than I was.
Okay.
So I'm going down the trail, and all of a sudden I can see the porch light.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay. So I get there, and there's lights on inside the cabin.
Motel 6. Somebody left the light on for you.
All right. Exactly. So I'm like, well, Dennis must be here.
Yeah.
So in this picture, I'm not even unpacked yet. So this was the next morning. So the cabin was unlocked. Lights are on. We got in at about 11:30.
At night?
At night.
Okay.
So it wasn't too bad. I looked at the grass, and I'm like, wow, the grass is awful short.
Uh-huh.
I'm like, wow.
Cut the grass for you?
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
But the more I looked at them, like, no,
just didn't grow yet.
Hasn't grown yet.
So, there's no snow in the photo?
No, they had 2 weeks ago, I guess.
Wow.
So went in, unpacked, got what we needed out for the night. This is the next morning. Turned on the water. Talked about in the past the water issues we had. That new piping is just phenomenal.
Good deal.
Everything went together well.
That's good.
It was one of those things that it needed to be done. We did it, and I got to reap the little bit of benefits of it when you can just literally start from one end of the cabin, walk around, closing everything up, prime the pump, hit it, wait for it, and you draw water. That was a good sign. And then when the pump shuts off, you just have like 5 minutes of silence.
And hope and pray.
Waiting.
Right.
But everything went together great. We got in, got everything settled, got a little fire going. It was a little chilly inside the cabin. We had to get the little dampness out and got a little fire going.
What was the temp?
I think it was going to be 39 up there that night.
A balmy 39 degrees.
Yes.
Nice.
And so we did get the fire going, and we got in there Thursday night late, went to bed, and I don't even know what time I went to bed. Just crashed and got up the next morning and figured out a game plan to do. Finished opening up the cabin, what we needed to do around, you always start your morning like I did up there with nothing better than Hunter's Blend.
I see that.
Yeah, so...
Got your cup there full, sitting there with the trailer.
Yep. I was having a cup of Hunter's Blend, and anybody else that wants to have a cup of Hunter's Blend with us, don't forget, go over to huntersblendcoffee.com, and if you use our promo code UNJ at the end, and you can save, right there, underneath you, you can save 10% on your checkout order.
There you go.
But, so, had my brother, myself, and Deb, we had some Hunter's Blend, and it was like, all right, what's the plan for the day? So he brought up some decaf, but we never got to it.
Why would you want that?
I don't know.
Get that out of here. There's the webpage, huntersblendcoffee.com. Get over there and get you some.
We didn't use it, okay? How's that?
I don't blame you. I got my big shot mug full of Hunter's Blend here tonight.
Yes, you do. So Friday morning, it started off cool, kind of misty. I wouldn't say rainy. It was more of a mist than anything.
Okay.
And then I said, well, we're going to cut the grass. and we started cutting the grass. Obviously, when it really has not grown, and I was kind of shocked. It hasn't been warm enough. So I started cutting the grass, and then I brought the PackerMaxx with me up there and had it in the trailer. And as you can see in this photo, you got to be a little ingenious sometimes when you're packing things. So you can see I took the clip.
Yeah, you got to run through the gate.
And I run it through the gate on the back.
Nice.
Yeah. It was like, hey, this fits perfectly.
I like that.
So
so you got to use that thing for the first time.
I got to use that thing for the first time. And I'm not going to lie, people. It pulled really nice behind the four-wheeler that we did use. I didn't use it to pull behind the Ranger because of the turning radius and the tight food plot that we had. But dragged the hose from the cabin, and I filled it up. And
after you checked the water in the cabin?
Because we had water in the cabin.
Okay.
And so filled it up, and from there I just hooked it up to the four-wheeler you see there, and I dragged it over. I just dragged it over to the food plot area, and this is one of the food plots that we're working on. So I needed to draw another sample from this field. I drew it, I think it's 2 years now that I did the first sample. And I said, okay, I'm going to get a new sample. So we dragged it first, and I had my brother just drag it, and then we ran the PackerMaxx over it. And you can see where in the muddy parts, it would create the V's that it's supposed to. And then we seeded it, and then we ran the PackerMaxx over it again just to make sure it was good soil contact. And
now this is one of your food plots that you started last year, right?
Yes.
Okay. And what was planted in this last year?
Last year it was rye and clover. And this year I just went with a basic over-the-counter throw and grow.
Okay.
Just till I get these results back, which reminds me they're in my case. I got to remember to get them out. What you can see in this picture is the orange snow fences.
Those are the trees you planted
Those
last
are the
year.
trees.
How did they do?
They took a hit.
Okay. From the weather or animals?
Animals. You can tell that they were able to reach over and snap the tops off.
Okay, so are you going to put up a higher fence or a wider fence?
We're going to see how they do. Some of them still had buds on the bottom.
Okay.
They're just not going to go straight up, probably.
Yeah.
So we just kind of did that, got this together. You can see it wasn't really sunny.
Right.
It was perfect to do this work in because you weren't dying of heat, and the bugs were not bad at all. So we just kept working it and dragging it, and we pulled rocks out of there. And what I'd really like to get is maybe a tiller or something in there and really do a good job.
Break the ground up.
Yeah. Okay. But I want to see what my last lime and fertilizer did to the soil.
Okay.
See if it pulled it up, or I used it actually, the PackerMaxx, I used it in the beginning too to knock down the weeds. So from there we moved on, and then we got this one taken care of. So this was my main food plot that I wanted to work on. Okay,
so you didn't do anything as far as spraying the field, killing it off. You're just seeding right over top of it.
I'm just throwing and growing.
Okay.
I roughed up the dirt, and it was kind of wet, so which was kind of nice. So the drag just kind of brought that, and we got rid of the bigger rocks. We kind of walked the field, throwing rocks, and then I PackerMaxxed it, then I seeded it, and then I PackerMaxxed it again.
Okay.
To get the seed contact.
Gotcha.
And it was cool. So hopefully, when I go back in a month, hopefully see some stuff growing.
Yeah.
And then I'll hopefully have my report back. I can add some lime and stuff, and probably gonna go with oats and clover again.
Okay.
And we'll go from there. If I use anything else,
all right.
I might try something else. I don't know yet.
Gotcha.
So, but no, that was a working day Friday. We worked on that plot, and then while working around the cabin itself, my brother was with me, we were looking at some stuff. I said, hey, so you got to try these out. Try these easy cut system out. So I broke out the loppers here for him first, and I couldn't get him out of his hands, dude.
He was going to town, huh?
He was a man possessed after that. He was walking all over around the cabin.
That's funny.
And we tried it out. This is one of the first times he was using it, trying to figure, get the ratcheting system. Okay, right. That's how you do it. Well, then he was working, and I said, "Why are you bending over?" I said, "Extend the handles." He goes, "Oh." So he extended the handles, and away he went some more. He got even higher.
So where'd you find him? Over in Iron Mountain later, cutting trees?
Well, he was basically going around the cabin on the wood line, just cutting everything that was low. And then after that, I said, "Hey, try this saw out." And
you took the pole saw with you?
Oh, yeah.
The Kamikaze.
I used that down the trail.
Okay.
That was phenomenal. I'm not going to lie, people. Two pulls, 3 pulls on a branch, and it was through it. and I walked down the trail, and anything that was kind of leaning over, I was trying to get out of the way.
I love this photo.
And then I said, okay, the first photo you saw was, I think, no extension.
Right.
And I said, okay, let's try it fully extended. And he loved this for the purpose. He goes, wow, if you ever wanted to just cut a hole for a tree stand in a tree,
right,
you could do that with exactly sitting on the ground and have somebody eventually get a tree stand up there, and then you could help them get the tree stand set like this, and then you could have the person that's up in the tree point you to shoot a shooting lane, cut one out.
Right.
So no, he really liked this pole saw. So
yeah, for those of you on the podcast that can't see, the Kamikaze pole saw, that thing extends 20. It's a 20-foot pole saw. And it's just incredible how far you can truly reach up and get a hold of something and cut it, you know.
Exactly. And that was kind of a cool factor. And I'll be taking that back for sure because I went over to one of the stands that I saw this last year that I need to use it in the stand area and got up on there and looked around. So, but no, the Easy Cut system, he loved it. He loved the hand ones. He tried those out too.
Oh, just the regular pruners?
Yep. So I gave him the Easy Cut
walkthrough
or
use through
cut through
there
right?
You go. Yeah.
And I didn't cut myself, and he didn't cut me like you would attempt to cut my fingers off for me.
Well, that's because you were flailing around here in the cabin the day I was holding that blade. I mean, I can't help it because you.
And the one thing nice he did say about it was, as he was using it, I said, look, you're just one person carrying that thing, and you're able to swing it around and use it. And he says, yeah.
Lightweight.
Right.
Yeah. So you took the whole sling pack up with you and took it out to the field?
Yep.
Okay.
The whole sling pack. We basically used everything, I think, except the wow saw.
Because you really didn't, everything you had access to on the ground, you didn't need it, and then you had the pole saw.
And if we needed to go a little bit higher, he just extended the handles.
Right.
And then when we were over by our bonfire, he was bringing stuff over, and he was just ratcheting them and cutting them to length and throwing them in the fire. So it was good cleaning up the area there, and it was a good time. It's always a good time when you have fire and you can cut. And
saw blades, fire,
right?
Coffee. Yeah, it's good stuff. Well, I'll tell you what, let's go ahead and take our first break. We got a couple of things that I know you're dying to talk about. So
absolutely.
Let's step outside. We'll be right back after this, and we'll continue the conversation.
PSE Archery has reinvented the way you buy bows.
From now on, you can make the most educated decision possible
by basing your bow choice specifically on your shooting needs and goals.
All you need to do is ask yourself, what kind of shooter am I? What do I want to achieve?
PSE will help find the right category for you.
So, what kind of shooter are you?
Find out at psearchery.com.
Welcome back. Second segment of the show. It is Memorial Day weekend, Sunday evening, and we're sitting in the cabin.
Yeah, another thing going up Thursday night, it was ORVs and travel trailers.
Yeah, how was the traffic going up?
I tell you what, up until it was we left at about 3:30.
Okay.
And
in the afternoon.
Yep. And we hit all the usual traffic. Wasn't too bad, but then you started picking up the campers.
Okay.
Once we got past Gaylord, it was probably free and clear. But my brother-in-law was up there, and they were staying in the campground in Crystal Falls. And we went to visit them last night, and that place was packed.
Okay, so campgrounds are full. A guy I work with, he's at a local campground, and yeah, that's the thing I've been hearing. Everybody's getting their camping spots, and getting out for the weekend. And did it? You said it was a little drizzly up there.
So Friday it was like 50s and misty.
Okay,
which was great. Yesterday it was 77-ish, sunny all day.
Nice.
And it was breezy, but the breezy was a good thing because
kept the bugs down.
So I gave my brother the tour, went to the Michigami Reservoir, showed him that, and then I took him over to the dam and showed him the dam. And this kind of proves that there's a lot of water in the woods. There is just a ton of water, and they got all this one gate open. And typically, the gates are closed, and the right side just flows over naturally.
Right.
Well, they got one gate open, and there was a guy at the bottom of this. He was fishing.
Okay.
And but yeah, it was loud. It was amazing. So
the water's flowing. Did you see a lot of water in your woods?
Yes, saw a ton of it. Our creek was high. It was higher you could tell where the sand, you could tell where the water cut through the sand.
Mm-hmm.
This is looking to the east of the bridge we have, and you can tell. I'll take one in July when we're there, and we'll compare the difference.
Well, I've seen it before. The pictures from last couple of years. Yeah, it's a little creek.
Yeah, and then if you look to the west, you can definitely see the water was high. The water table's high in the woods. We walked the woods yesterday as well, and there was definitely some water in the woods. The bug explosion will happen momentarily. Actually, it started Thursday night, believe it or not.
Yeah.
But there's definitely a ton of water in the woods, and it's going to be interesting to see how long it takes to dry out. It probably won't take long once.
I know things are really wet here. I told you before the show started, I've mowed grass 3 times this week because everything's wet and it's growing like crazy. I mowed grass yesterday, Saturday, right after it rained hard for about 5 minutes here, and then I waited an hour or two, and then I cut grass, and then went out and shot the bow. But this morning, or actually this afternoon, I went out to do some grilling and walking out barefoot in the grass. Even in the high spots, it's squish. Yeah.
Wow, there's a lot of water.
And I've heard at our camp there's a lot of water. So there's just water everywhere in Michigan,
which breeds the mighty mosquito.
That's right, the state bird.
And it was funny because we got to the bridge and we gassed up there, and my brother meticulously cleaned off the windshield. Mm-hmm. And it lasted about 2 miles, and then we noticed that there was these swarms coming up off the grass.
Okay.
And it was like, what is that? And all of a sudden we started hitting them. It was whatever hatch was going on.
Okay.
We were hitting it, and it was like tick, 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 tick.
You hear him pinging off.
Oh yeah, it was great. And so his cleaning the windshield lasted all of about 2 miles.
Nice.
And then coming back today, there was another type of hatch going on. I thought it was actually smoke in the sky, but it was actually bugs.
Really?
Yeah. I'm like, oh, something's burning up ahead. And then
there's a hatch going off.
Yeah, there's a hatch.
My mother-in-law said the mayflies had already hatched up there in Mackinac.
Maybe that's what they were.
You know, they're at her place. They said the whole side of the house was covered. It was just, they got white siding, and they said it was black.
Oh, okay. I believe it.
But
yeah, the water's definitely high. Everything was high up there. The reservoir is high. The dam they're letting go through. And then I went out in the woods, I went to go find the stage that I built last year, see how it made it through.
You have a stage in the woods?
I do.
Do you perform?
I do. It's an 8x8 stage. I get up there and I do my best to perform the hunting routine of shooting an animal from it.
Okay, and how does that go?
Well, so far we're 0 for 1. I hunted gun season out of it last year.
Is this photo here, is that from your platform?
That is from the platform.
Okay.
And
beautiful woods.
It is just, I was getting, matter of fact, I took this picture because this is kind of the way would be straight out that I'm looking, and I want to get the easy cut saw in here and kind of cut a little bit of this out.
Well, let me ask you, we're looking at this right now. These trees that are bare, are those dead evergreens, or are those leaf-bearing trees?
Those are leaf-bearings. The ones you're staring at to the right and to the left is some evergreens, and straight away from there is evergreens that I'd like to get a clean shot to.
Oh, on the far side there.
Yeah,
I got you. Yeah.
Straight away. That's probably about 35, 40 yards.
Okay.
And they tend to come up right through there.
Gotcha.
Because they're following, if you go from left to right at about top of the picture, that drops off into the swamp.
Gotcha.
So it's a pinch point.
Gotcha. Okay.
So, but yeah, the ferns were starting to come up, and the woods was awakening. But I was surprised that it's definitely a couple weeks behind that I thought it would be.
Yeah, well, the whole state really is.
And so I was shocked that the grass wasn't that long. And in this picture here, you're looking to the left. That's another shot I got going, and
you got your shooting lane cut through there. It looks like.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that one's kind of a natural. Mm-hmm. I might do a little tidying up there, but yeah. So I kind of liked it. Kind of got myself set, figured out what I wanted to do, and when I go back up in July, I'll get up there and get the easy cut and do some work on it.
Well, you got a picture here that I found very interesting. You sent me, and I'm trying to figure out how you're going to plant that.
Okay, so on the back of the property behind the cabin. You go walking through the woods, and you see the woods you kind of walk through in the first two pictures that you just seen. And for people that's listening to the podcast, you got to see this because, dude, this is you come up to this literally. You come up to a rock field.
What is it, 50 by 50? 50 yards by 50 yards?
At least.
Okay.
This is just one of the pictures. There's, it's one of those things that you just stand on the edge of it and go, huh.
Yeah, things that make you go, huh.
And no clue how or why it got there. Or, they built the cabin, but I don't think they dumped any rocks back there like this.
No.
So I was just
Do you think that was this area formerly, like say maybe back in the 1800s, late 1800s, what could have possibly been farm fields or cattle fields, grazing fields, anything like that, where the farmer had taken and put stones in a place?
Potentially.
But normally they put them in a pile instead of scattering them all over like that.
That's it, and you really can't walk through that.
Yeah, break your ankle.
You definitely can't walk through it during the winter. And now you can actually see where you're stepping. Mm-hmm. But, so it's one of those things that make you go hum, and it's just, it's a cool thing, but kind of eerie. Mm-hmm. So that's our rock field. And we cut through that, well, on the side of it, really, to get to the back of the property.
So that's your rock garden.
Yeah, that's my rock garden. And I tell you what, it is just interesting, to say the least, that you're walking through the woods and all of a sudden you come to this edge of rocks. And there's rocks on the rest of this property that are the size of like a Volkswagen. Mm-hmm. There's actually one rock, I don't think I have a picture of it, but a tree's growing right out of the top of it.
That's cool.
That's always cool. So, matter of fact, my brother and Deb both fished the creek for some trout, and one had a bite and couldn't land it. And
something we don't have here is pictures of the Michigamme Reservoir. You guys went over the reservoir.
Yeah, we went over the reservoir.
Do any fishing?
We threw a line in. My brother was trying out his fly fishing technique at the reservoir. The trees were two, and he was none.
Okay.
So that was kind of fun to watch him do that.
So left a couple baits there, huh?
No, he kind of bent the tree down and retrieved them.
Gotcha.
So, but the reservoir was high, and it was busy at the boat launch for there. So,
that's good.
So it was a great weekend. We just got back.
How was traffic coming home?
It was okay. US 2 was a little bit getting towards the bridge, was getting kind of a little bit busy, and then coming down state, the typical at Bay City was a little bit of a tedious invention.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know Michigan very well, it's always an adventure. Big holiday weekends, which is Memorial Day and Labor Day weekend, and really every weekend in between there, it's and then maybe move into deer season weekends. It's just a solid line of cars going north, going up, and then coming back home.
And one thing about I-35, at least you have two lanes typically. And so
when there's not construction.
Right. And so you can maneuver from here to the bridge. But once you get on US 2, you've got one lane with passing lanes, and that's always entertaining, to say the least, when you got people that can't sit still.
Right.
So, so I got my soil samples back. I'll be sending those off this week, I hope.
Any expectations on those? What are you thinking?
I'd like to see it go up a little bit, a point or two at least.
The pH?
To know that something's working.
That what you did is making an improvement in the soil.
Exactly. Okay. So any uptick in the numbers, and I'll be happy with that. And then when I go back in July, I'll probably put in the food plots for the fall, and then we'll go from there to see how they do for the fall. My expectations are, I did some scouting with it being not as greened up as I thought it was, so I did some scouting, found another place for another stage.
Okay.
So I want to get that put up.
Did you see deer?
We saw a deer.
How do they look?
Scrawny.
Okay, as usual, what you expect.
I mean, we had there was 4 deer, and matter of fact, we were walking in the woods yesterday, and we saw 3, and the mom went through, and the 2 younger ones kind of started walking towards us, so they were kind of interested in what we were doing.
Younger ones, as in fawns or last year's fawns?
Probably last year's fawn.
I saw my first fawn yesterday.
Really?
Little, like the size of my Brittany Spaniels.
Nice.
Little. The ones that, obviously my dogs are gone now, but about that size. Yeah, right down the road here. We were heading into town, and as soon as we got on the road and heading west, a mama doe crossed, and all of a sudden here comes this little critter behind her, and I'm like, oh, there's a fawn. I said, look how small that is.
Just born.
It had to have been just born here this week. I mean, just a little guy.
Right on time. One good thing I did not see in the woods was any winter kill.
That's good. Question here. Courtney just asked, when does our season start? Bow season here in Michigan starts October 1st, and really runs until January 1st.
Yep.
Pretty much. Our rifle season is November 15th through November 30th.
And we got a muzzleloader split season depending on what zone you're in.
Yeah, there's 3 zones in Michigan, depending, and those always typically start right on December 1st, and then they're staggered throughout the state,
and
north
then,
to south.
We do have a couple seasons that go off in September.
Yeah, we got the Veterans Hunt, the Liberty Hunt. We got a youth season there as well, and then we got an early antlerless doe. And something that we've considered at our place is getting some disease control permits and using those to cull our deer herd in our area because we're dealing with TB. So, our season typically is a lot longer than a lot of states, but I do know the state of Alabama, where my dad lives, their season runs all the way down into February. I think the middle of February, yeah.
I know Ohio goes into January.
Yeah.
And his goes later than that.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That's wild.
But says they start September 14th and run till February. Courtney, can you guys, with it being September 14th, do you have an opportunity to shoot velveted bucks? I think you're out on the East Coast, if I remember right. Is it New Jersey? I think is where she's at.
Yeah,
she's part of the Nexus team.
Yeah,
one of the Nexus brand ambassadors that Danny and I are on staff with. So, but I tell you what, let's go ahead. Let's take a break. Maybe we'll get an answer in the break, and then when we come back, we'll see what we got, and then I'll kind of run into. If you're done, I'll run into what I did this weekend. So, and if not, we'll finish up with you, and then we'll go there.
Works for me.
All right, we're at Step Outside. We'll be right back after this.
PSE Archery has always dominated the speed category. Now, the most revolutionary cam system ever to hit the market has perfected the shooting experience. Introducing PSE's Evolve Cam System, featuring extremely high let-off capabilities and the smoothest draw cycle in history. No other cam system has ever delivered this level of total comfort and total control. Experience PSE. Experience performance.
Welcome back. Third segment of the show, and we did get an answer. Courtney says that she's never seen them in New Jersey, but she is in New Jersey. So
okay,
velveted bucks at that time of year are probably not a thing. Thinking of, they're pretty much about the same north to south wise. They're
pretty east west.
They're pretty much east of us. Yeah. So that would make sense. I mean, most of our deer have already kicked
September 1.
Kicked their velvet by the 1st of September, but not Kentucky. They start in September 14th or 15th, and I've heard guys that have shot velveted bucks down in Kentucky. So
right, they're still in velvet down there. So it would be cool to shoot a velveted buck.
It would be.
It would be.
They have that opportunity.
No doubt about it. One thing I did find a dead deer on the side of the road.
Mm-hmm.
But I couldn't. I don't think it was brought down by animals. But then I couldn't tell you. It was a doe.
Fresh or
no? It's been there a while, okay. So I couldn't tell if maybe it got hit and then it got pushed with the snow off the edge.
Yeah.
So that's the one I found, and I went and looked at it, and it hadn't been pulled apart by animals. So I don't know what it was. So I'm assuming it might have been. It was right like at a T of an intersection.
Okay.
So I'm thinking it might have got hit.
Right.
So I'm gonna go with that. And
did you get a chance to talk to the DNR biologist?
No.
Okay.
So I hope to do that in July when I have a little bit more time up there. Being the weekend, they were closed anyways.
That's true, yeah.
So I'm not going to go find them and knock on their door.
Courtney also says she'll get cameras out soon and we'll see them. Would love to get one. Yeah, getting a velveted buck would be awesome.
Be awesome. We see those coming from Kentucky, and that is really cool.
It is cool. It'd be a great opportunity to get a hold of something like that. So,
but what I didn't take a picture of, atti I'll get it in July, is the growth that's happening after the forest project, after the project's been now
coming up. Good.
Yeah,
good.
There's spots. Matter of fact, we saw, and we were just talking about it. My brother and I were walking the roads, and we could see like where the popular thicket came to the road. And I said, "Man, a deer jumps in there, 5-6 leaps, it's gone."
Gone, yeah.
And literally, the next time we were walking that same spot, we saw the deer's tail end go in there, and the only thing you could see was the thicket moving. And that's the way you knew it. And
right.
It was gone. You couldn't see it.
And that's what's great about when you go in and you do a cut like that, a timber cut. When it comes back and explodes, the deer have got a great place to hide and food sources as well.
I'm hoping that it puts on another 3 feet this year, which he said is typical. So that'd be cool. I'd be excited about that.
Good deal.
Yeah,
gotta like that.
But then, how is the weather down here?
Yes. it rained and it was sunny. Well, I don't know. Right here. Took a picture of my bow. This is Saturday. Yeah, no, this was Friday. Friday evening I got out and shot. So we had the sun Friday, and then we had a little rain Friday night. Saturday morning was sunny, and then Saturday afternoon we had rain. It was sunny yesterday evening, and then we had rain last night, rain this morning, and it's sunny now.
Yeah, I was hoping while I was gone that miraculously my lawn would get cut.
No. It just grew?
It grew. So I'm probably going to have to do a double cut tomorrow.
I've mowed my yard 3 times this week, but I was determined to get out and shoot this weekend. I'm shooting the Evolve 28, getting ready for the Total Archery Challenge at Boyne that you and I are going to go up and partake in.
Yeah.
In 2 weeks.
Got the official word on it. So 2 weeks.
We're going to be up there with Rambo Bikes in their booth and going to do a little shooting as well. But I broke the bow out. And I haven't shot this bow a lot, just getting it set up and getting it tuned. And I had it set 20, 30, and 40, so I was wanting to work on 50 and 60 and really get it dialed in this weekend. And that's what I worked on. And after a couple adjustments, there's 40 yards.
I like that.
It's shooting pretty good there.
How do you like how that sits in your hand?
I know we brag a lot on PSE bows, and we've shot the Evolve now for this is our 3rd or 4th year. I can't remember. I think 3rd year. Last year, the last 2 years I shot the 31. You shot the 31 and
35.
And the 35 at Target.
Yep.
At Leagues. We got these 28s. I don't know what it is. To me, the 28 really fits me well.
It really does. I was impressed with the ferocity that I used last year for my hunting rig, but when I shot this 28 a couple weeks back, like you said, we brag about them, but you got to shoot them, folks.
Yeah.
You shoot this Evolve cam system, and the 28, for whatever reason, just sits nice in our hands.
It does. It shoots so well. It wants to aim. And I've really started working on my form more this year since Leagues, what little bit shooting I've been doing in the back. And at the end of day 1 here, this was 50 yards. This is where I left off at.
Okay.
It's low. It's about 4.5, 5 inches low. But the group, I mean, at 50 yards, that's, incredible the way this thing shoots.
It does. And you're shooting, what arrows are you shooting?
Those are the pile drivers from Carbon Express.
Okay. Okay.
So that's where I ended the day. Then I got out again yesterday evening. Had some great sunlight. So I said, I'm going to bring the camera out. And I thought, I'll practice with the camera and the bow.
There you go.
So I just took some artsy-fartsy shots with it.
Look at you, all artsy.
Yeah, had a little fun while I was out there.
Well, it looks like you had blue sky then.
I told you it was great yesterday evening, and then it rained, But, I just whipped through a couple of these here, playing with depth of field on the photos. But it was a great evening, and you see the sunlight there in some of these shots. It's just incredible.
How do you like the bow holder you're using?
I really like it. That's something that has really made my shooting. It's hard to say a bow holder makes your shooting enjoyable, but the fact is, before I got this thing, let me go back here a couple photos and what he's talking about. Let's see, right here on that stick. It helps. You just put it on there and you walk down range and grab your stuff. You don't have to worry about laying it down. You don't have to worry about mud getting on it. It's great. I
made a bow holder myself out of PVC, and I tell you what, it is awesome just to be able to hang your bow up
and not even worry about it.
And I made an extra where I put my arrows, and I can hang my release or whatever. But it makes it enjoyable to that fact. You don't have to lay it in the grass or lay it in a chair,
right?
Or when you come back here, you got to put your arrows somewhere.
Yeah,
isn't it amazing what a simple little thing can?
Yeah,
do?
Whether you make it yourself or you go buy one.
Right.
I'm telling you, if you're backyard shooting, you got a range in your backyard, you need something to hang your bow on. It just makes everything so much easier. But then there's one of the Stan's release. This thing has made my life so much easier for shooting. I can't say enough for what that thing has done to my shooting ability.
Kind of hard to imagine going back to a trigger.
No, I don't think I could ever go back to a trigger. I really don't. Since I've got onto this system, it's just been a difference in night and day. Another little artsy-fartsy shot there, tip of the arrow.
The old pile drivers.
Yeah. But, I worked on it. I was shooting for quite a while, worked on the 50, started moving the sight and getting it to where I was raising my aim. And that's where I wound up, 50 yards.
There you go.
Not bad. I think that's probably the best group of 3 that I've shot in a long time, probably maybe ever. I mean, that tight at 50.
Nice.
And the thing is like I said, the thing is shooting lights out. And then this is where I finished at 60. I mean, the bow just wants to aim. if that makes any sense. It just sits and wants to aim. So
now you need it to aim at a nice whitetail.
Yes.
You killed the target well.
Well, I tried. I mean, like I said, I'm really concentrating on shooting tight groups and form. And if my hand's not in the right spot on the grip, I definitely, let down, reposition my hand on the foregrip. And, if you shoot enough, I mean, like what you and I learned at leagues this year, that you can tell right away. As soon as you put your hand on that riser and start to draw, you can feel that pressure. Whether it's going to be, whether it's in the right spot for you or not.
Right, exactly. And my brother and I had a conversation about getting to draw and how long you wait before you shoot.
I was dealing with a little bit of that yesterday as well.
And I told him, I said, Mike and I talked about this at leagues, and it was more almost like the hunting instinct to get drawed back, set, aim, and once you lock into where you want to go, let it rip.
Yep.
And it's one of those things that that's how it works.
Yeah.
You don't have all day to sit there and decide whether, in target, you're looking at a target that's looking back at you. But when you're out there hunting and you're looking at this animal that is thinking whatever.
Yeah, it's going to bolt.
It's like, I don't have enough time to think about where.
No, you place the pin and shoot.
Right, exactly.
And that, and I guess that's what I mean about shooting the 31 versus 28. The 28 wants to aim. It just wants to aim to center. Once you get that pin there, I mean, you can sit and make donuts all day long. The longer you wait, the bigger the donuts get.
Yes.
It's just like with a rifle. But if you get it there, you get it up, and you start practicing, is it starting to come across that bullseye, and you start executing your shot, at that point, you'll understand once you get into that situation.
Exactly. Yep.
It just wants, push, pull, boom, boom, just getting it in there and forcing that thing downrange.
I think it almost comes down to overthinking it.
It does. And the more I sit and especially when I was shooting long distance, because when I shot 50 yards day one, I didn't have my glasses on.
Okay.
And I'm like, man, I can see the bullseye, but it's
a blur.
It's blurry, but I know where it's at. When I put my glasses on and it cleared that right up, and you could put that pin on it, and then as it's getting right to it, and you execute that shot and force it away from you as you execute push pull. I couldn't believe how well that bow shot. I wish I had that bow at leagues, to actually tell you the truth. So it was a lot of fun, man.
Isn't it fun to get out and shoot instead of struggle?
Yes, it is so much fun.
It is, and that's one of the things that it's like you got to get past the struggle part. And then once everything starts to click and you're starting to like you said, I think 50, 60 yards there, you just like, yeah, let's shoot some more.
Yeah. Courtney, she's just saying that she shoots crossbow for now. Get a chance, get a smaller bow, a smaller poundage bow in your hands, and just start shooting in the backyard. That's where you develop that fun and that love for archery. Don't make it about getting out and getting into killing an animal. Start shooting spots with it. Start shooting targets and have fun with it. That way you don't get out there and get all stressed out. And it can become a mental game.
Yeah,
we've had that talk before.
Yeah, it could way be a mental game.
Hey, Josh Hagerman's in the house. Hey, thanks, Josh, for watching. I heard he was in Mackinac.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know if he still is. I think he still might be. I saw a post today. He was up in Mackinac.
I zipped right by him.
Yeah, he's chilling on the island.
Went to the island
with fudge, forts, bicycles, and horses.
Yep, the four mainstays of Mackinac Island.
That's right. So
and ferry rides.
That's right. I tell you what, we're bumping up here. Let's take our last break. Come back. We'll continue the conversation about shooting and whatever else that comes across here. So we'll step outside, take our last break, and we'll be right back after this.
Acceleration is part of PSE's DNA. PSE pioneered the speed movement. Now they've developed the vapor category to help you find the most powerful bows on the market to fit you.
High speed equates to intense power and building the momentum you need to be successful. Are you a vapor shooter? Find out at psearchery.com.
Welcome back. Fourth segment of the show. It's getting warm, Kevin. We turned our air on today, believe it or not.
Did you really?
Yeah. Actually, yesterday, my daughter did. She's like, it's hot in here. Got to turn the air on. I'm like, give me a break. But we got the pool cover off, starting to work on the pool. Summer's here, man.
Nice.
It's coming. It's coming quick. So, but yeah, let's see. Denny says he turned his back at 71 and is still struggling, but with he's talking about his bow. I thought he was talking about his air conditioning. But still struggling, but with 85% let off, it's a joy to hold. Let's see more here. And aim, yes. Denny, are you shooting? What bow are you shooting? And does it have the ECS cam? I know he shoots a PSE, but I can't remember what I think he shoots the Evolve, if I'm not mistaken. That's what he took his Cape Buffalo with, if I remember right. Remember the interview we did with him at ATA?
Who can forget an interview with Denny Steiner?
That's right.
And Josh Hagerman's having a nice getaway.
He's having a nice getaway.
Probably sitting by the pool, eating fudge.
Do they have pools over there on the island?
Well, yeah.
I don't know.
Depending on where you're staying.
I've never stayed over there. I've just went over for a visit and came back.
Yeah, I'm sure they do.
Yeah. So, and Josh, while you're over there, make sure that if you're eating fudge, make sure it's fudge and not something else that's similar to that comes from the horses. You should be able to distinguish it from the smell. Well, that's all it's over there is horse poop and fudge. Come on.
Right.
You know?
He's shooting the Evolve 31.
Okay. Gotcha. Got to head back. Our guys keep okay. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. As always, thanks for what you do for us, Josh. Hats off to you, man. Enjoy Michigan while you're here. It's a great state, you know.
Right.
We got 4 distinct seasons.
Yes.
We got winter, middle of winter, deep winter, and then something called spring of some sort that kind of rolls into summer.
Throw in orange barrel season.
Right. Yeah. This has been a cold spring here. So
it hasn't been a normal spring, that's for sure.
No.
I tell you what, it's been one of those things that I seen it up, and I've been watching the weather up there, and they've been getting pretty hammered regularly with the amount of water. At your camp, is it drier or is it just as wet? Just as wet?
We're having problems with the water table up there right now.
Really?
We're trying to get some work done, and we can't get the work done until the ground dries up.
Wow.
Yeah, it just keeps raining. Just like here, it keeps raining.
And then all of a sudden now they're talking about, I know they were talking about how the Great Lakes was down and drying up. And,
it won't be now.
Well, now they're worried about all these houses that have been built in the last few years over there when the water table was down. Now the water table's coming up. They're like, uh-oh. And I've been watching stories the last week in the news, and they're like, well, you better get some sandbags, and, you know, you better hope you're 3 feet above them. And it's like,
get ready for it.
So right now, the Great Lakes are high, which is good.
Well, you know, it's nature. It rolls back and forth. You know, I don't want to get into any scientific
but it's a cycle.
It's a cycle.
Yep.
You know, it's got highs and lows, no matter if it's temperatures, if it's winters, you know, snow depths or water or dryness, whatever.
So now do you think we're going to head for a dry July, August?
Could, yeah. It kind of all equals out.
It does, and we've talked about this in the past, that Mother Nature knows how to equal itself out. So, yeah, don't get into the old climate thing, but it's like, so now we've had a really wet spring. Does that equal a dry summer, dry fall? You know, so stay tuned. We'll see what Mother Nature has for us. When we're maybe out there up in our tree stands in October and it's 85 degrees, we might have something to say about that.
Right.
So,
hey, it is what it is.
It is. And
as long as I'm in a tree stand.
October 1st, tree stand. Do you know when Indiana starts?
October 1st.
Okay, so October
I had to
1st.
think for a minute.
Okay, nope, that's fine. And hopefully by then, NRC will come out with their typical...
I forgot to publish our
our poll?
Our poll for the night. So I'm just going to throw this up for the last segment of the show.
Nice.
You know, we'll throw it up there. Should companies be offering sales on merchandise on Memorial Day weekend? I've heard a lot about this on the news this week. And I'm not,
really?
Yeah.
Okay, so one of the nice things about being up there is little to no news except for the little blurbs I get on the radio. So what are they going after here?
You know, basically Memorial Day, you know, it's for the people who've died and give their lives for our freedoms, and we shouldn't be trying to maximize money off the top of that.
Okay.
I understand both sides, so I've heard a lot about it here in this last week. A lot of people have been commenting about it, and I just wondered what our listeners and viewers here at the Up North Journal think about that.
To me, it's a holiday.
Mm-hmm.
I know they've done this with Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
Come in at 6 o'clock at night on Thanksgiving and get your big TV for a small price.
Right.
But really, can't you just sit home and put your feet up or go visit somebody or pay respects to some people that gave their life for what's going on? And there's parades, there's things that go on that you can support. But to go to a sale?
Just wondered.
Yep.
I understand.
I personally,
I have no money to spend.
Well, sit
So it
home,
doesn't
barbecue.
matter.
Tomorrow's my daughter's birthday. I'm going to tell her, no, we can't go to your birthday. We can't enjoy your birthday. We're going to go to a whatever. Unless she probably tells me that there's something on sale.
There's a lot of people out there, too, that have the same mindset about barbecue. And they're like, this holiday is not to barbecue and kick back and take it easy. It's to reflect back on those who lost their life.
But you can sit back and reflect at that time. And
That's true.
And I'll tell you what, last night up in the UP, sitting by the campfire, my brother-in-law, sister-in-law, my brother, Dennis, Cheryl, my cousins were over, but sitting out by the fire. And after we came back at 11 o'clock, the sheer quietness.
We talked about that last week.
Is just...
Or actually, no, it wasn't last week. We were talking with Tread on Wednesday night. We did our episode with Tread about the sheer silence. The silence of the wilderness is so deafening.
Right.
It screams at you. It's so quiet.
Yeah, and I heard the crows. I heard woodpeckers. Grouse are drumming.
Yeah.
We saw one in the woods drumming. Didn't hear no coyotes.
No wolves?
No wolves. But yeah, that is where you can reflect greatly.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And you can do it at home as well.
Mm-hmm.
And what better way to do it is with friends and family around, just being together.
Mm-hmm. A friend of ours on Facebook, I know he's a service member, and he had these same questions going through his head. And his mother, and I'm just paraphrasing because I don't remember exactly word for word what it was, but it's basically, do what you want to do on this weekend, because those people who gave their lives for the freedom for you to be able to do what you want to do, and use that as the celebration of the freedom that we have by doing what you want to do.
And that goes for everybody that's in the United States.
Yep.
That's why we have what we have, and we're able to do what we do because of that.
Yep. So we can sit here and talk to all y'all.
That's right. And one thing that we like to do is talk to y'all.
Yep.
So, but other than that, do you working tomorrow?
Yes. I am.
Wow. That's what happens when you use the big shot.
The big shot of coffee there. Wow. Yeah, I am working tomorrow.
Okay, so you are working tomorrow.
Yes.
All right. So
TV goes on 24/7, 365.
It does. So I will see you at our allotted time at the gym.
Yes, and that's going well. Second phase of what we've been doing. What do you think so far?
Yeah.
Do you care to mention the name of what we've given our trainer?
Yeah, Hellboy. You know what, though? It feels good, though. It feels good.
It does.
To when we sat with him the first time, he asked us what we wanted to do. He gave us and we talked to him. He says, well, we got to up your game. And then he gave us more to do. And he's pretty proud of us because we've gone on for as long as we have.
Yeah, we're going on 7 months.
Right. And
over.
So I'm excited to be able to up the game, as painful as it is.
It is painful.
But
no pain, no gain.
It's progress. It's something that, and plus, like shooting, lifting the weights is starting to be at the end of the night when you want to just relax and just get into a mode and lift some weights or do whatever we're doing, except when we're on the rack. That is very painful, but it is what it is, and I like it. So
yeah, I've noticed weight loss. I've noticed strength. I've noticed filling out a little bit. It's been good, and a couple people that know that we go have told me that it's like, hey, we're starting to notice a little bit of difference. I mean, what are you doing? You know, what's your workout and stuff? And
pain.
Yeah, pain. More pain.
Right. But you're right, and it's nice, I guess, to be noticed about that. And
it's the attaboys.
Yeah,
that's what I like about it, is the fact that you got people behind you, and like our guy. Matter of fact, we're going to try to get our trainer on.
Yeah.
To talk about getting outdoorsmen and women healthy for the upcoming hunting season. To start that regime, mid to late summer. So, you get out. I mean, we've talked to people that's had heart attacks out in the field.
Right.
Or had heart problems leading into the season. So we don't want that to happen to anybody. So it's like Danny and I are trying to do this to stay healthy, and we want to bring that to y'all. He's going to talk, if we can get him on the show, we're going to talk about how do you start a workout regime, and what are some of the things to look at.
And I think we're going to try to time it to have him on in July. So we kind of asked him a basis question about how long would a workout take to before it becomes, getting into it and beneficial. And he said about 3 months.
Yep.
So what we're planning on is kind of have it in June to talk to everybody out there so you guys can all get into the gym or get into a workout routine, exercise, and be ready for October 1st.
That's right. So that's the plan.
And feel better about yourself,
Absolutely.
I'd like to, one of the things is shooting the bow and hold, just seeing the difference there.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're out working, doing the food plots and setting cameras like I did,
setting tree stands,
and that's
climbing
the next
tree
step.
stands,
and when we
cutting
go to
wood and all that
Right.
stuff. And then ultimately, you want to be able to be in shape when you have to drag that big deer in.
That's right. I just got to drag them right to the ranger.
There you go, and then haul them home.
That's right. So, but no, it's and plus it's feeling good about yourself to be able to do it. To say, hey, you look in the mirror and say you've done it for 7 months now, and and I think we both kind of know this that without each other pushing each other,
It'd be a lot harder.
It would be way harder. So if you're doing it on your own, kudos to you. If you have a workout partner, somebody that you see at the gym, or somebody and then you can get that. Kind of a little bit of a competition, but it's also kind of the
accountability.
Hey, you can do it.
Yeah, it's accountability. There's a lot of nights I don't want to go or Dan doesn't want to go, and we're like, hey, I'll see you at the gym. Well, when you say that to me or I say that to you, it's like that other person expects you to be there.
And you will have off nights. Don't kid yourself. You're not going to go there every night that you're at the gym and it's going to be 100% powerhouse. You're rocking it. You're going to have off nights. You're going to be tired some nights.
Yep.
I know Thursdays are a grind for me typically. It's like, all right, but I got to do it.
Yeah.
Usually the beginning of the week is good. By the time I get to the end of the week, that's when I start to feel the grind from my day job.
Mm-hmm.
And luckily it's arms, which I like to power through.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, yeah, but then, you got to get it done. You get it done, you see the reward. So
absolutely,
and just turning the corner of getting there and beating that. I think what they say, the first couple weeks are the hardest.
Yeah, first month. If you make it through the first month, you're going to be there. The first 2 weeks are definitely the toughest. 2 to 3 weeks. Yeah, you feel crippled. I mean, you feel like you're going to die. But once you get over that soreness and power through that, it's I won't say it's downhill, but it's a lot smoother.
And then we just to kind of recap, we actually did a program for 6 months, and he said we should only do it for 3. So we changed it up after 6, and we went back into the pain game, and now we're getting through that, and we're actually learning the new techniques. That's the hard part.
And Denny Steiner brings up a very great point. He says, be sure to include seeing your doctor if you feel a difference in your heart. He said that's what saved him. And Denny went through that heart scare. That's key. If you're having any issues before you get into workout routine, make sure you see a doctor and make sure that it's something that's safe for you to do. But secondly, if you're doing this and you're feeling a little weird, something's not right, go see a doctor. Get it taken care of.
Absolutely. You got a gut feeling about something.
Yeah. I mean, a workout's not going to be the end all of end alls to make you feel 100% and go charge, forward and chew on trees and climb the world. But, if you got a problem, you think something's going on, go to the doctor. Get it looked at.
Absolutely. So, that simple little ache, pain might be something more.
That's right.
Go get a physical before you start with the workout and say, hey, I'm going to start working out, get my physical. I got to take a physical every year for work, so I usually go and he yells at me some more, and I look at him, and we almost had it out this last time because I gained a pound, but I'm like, dude, I'm working out.
Right.
So don't.
Right. Don't have a fit.
Calm down. So, but anyways, yeah, get to the doctor. Make sure you're okay. Start a workout, whether it's just walking around the block.
Right.
Riding a bike.
Right.
Wish I would have took the Rambo bike up.
You should have said something. You could have taken it.
I know. Didn't
even think about it.
We were crossing the UP and like,
you got the side-by-side.
But I'd like to have tried it out up there. And,
right.
So.
Well, we'll take you to Boyne when we go to Boyne.
Right.
We'll be in the Rambo booth.
Yeah. So,
speaking of announcements, before we go tonight, we got a huge announcement coming up here this week. Somebody's moving. He made the announcement this week.
Who's moving?
Jim Beasley.
Oh, okay.
Duh.
No, because when you're up in the middle of nowhere and you barely have any internet access.
Oh, you didn't see that he made the announcement?
Yeah. I did not know.
Spot Shooters Archery is moving into some new digs this week, and actually Thursday he's asked for a little help from us.
Oh, Thursday?
Yeah, so we got to rearrange our workout schedule just a little bit, but Thursday night we're going to go over and help him move, and he should be ready to be open, I believe, on Friday.
Okay, so I got it. So we're going to do our arms first, and that'll be our legs day.
Yeah, because we'll definitely be working. Well,
because Wednesday we should be talking to Tread.
Yeah, that's right. Well, I don't know. Let me talk to you about it after the show, because I missed legs last week. It's been 2 weeks since I've done them. Yeah, you remember you
were supposed to go Thursday night after I
was busy.
I was busy.
See?
All right.
See? Accountability there.
That's right.
So I tell you what, we're going to go ahead and wrap up the podcast portion of the show if you got any questions. And actually, my wife's watching. Hey, Shannon, thanks for tuning in. She's probably keeping an eye on me.
My brother-in-law's watching, and he is up in Crystal Falls at the campground.
Nice. So we're up in the UP.
We are up in the UP, and he's probably listening to some music throughout the campground.
There you go. It's all good.
It is.
All right, for the podcast, we're going to wrap it up this week, folks, and we'll be back again next week. And don't forget, you can catch us in syndication at 2 p.m. Eastern Time on goodtalkradio.com. This episode was brought to you by PSE Archery,
Scentlock Technologies,
Scent Blocker,
Rambo Bikes,
Hunter's Blend Coffee,
Limb Walker Game Calls,
Stanislawski Releases,
Copper John Sights,
Easy Cut Outdoor Products,
Fourth Arrow Camera Arms,
Wind Sense Hunting Sense,
X-Stand Tree Stands,
Spot Shooters,
Gut Check Indicators,
and PackerMaxx Cultipackers.
Thanks for listening, and join us again here next week. Until then, remember, as we always like to say, if you're out on the water or in the woods, shoot straight and be safe. Until next week on the Up North Journal.